of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
We want to thank you for tuning to our program. We're doing the end of the year program and show, and we're going to talk about the reality or the rationality of the reality. Many people, I know for myself, many times, upon meeting the messenger prophet, when he brought the truth from the Lord, it didn't take many sensationalism and ideas or thoughts or signs from him to say, okay, the Lord is with him, the reality is with him, and the thing that he said, the wisdom, was the main thing that caught me, the word of truth that the Lord manifested through his mouth. I said, wow, he's saying things that I always felt or could never ask anybody else because they couldn't give me the answers. So with that, we're going to touch upon maybe that subject this evening with the hope that people will get a better understanding about those who reason or rationalize the reality of the Lord Most High.
Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, if I may share with the audience my first initial meetings with you, and what it was that impressed upon me was how clear the explanations were about higher questions that I had, and what it was I thought that I might prepare. The question was I would go through a period of time, and I thought I might prepare what it was like to meet Holy, and be prepared for profound answers, and how am I going to come to grips with something, But at the same time, questioning whether I was going to be personally able to accept it for expecting answers that I wasn't going to be able to truly understand. But and I'm still in awe about it, is how I was made to clearly understand, in my language, in my understanding, in my psychology, I had to face an answer, answer to what was told. These explanations of life and of the Lord and of my purpose in worshiping the Lord. What my purpose is simply just to worship your Creator, my Creator.
Now, this reflected when he was talking about his first coming into the awareness. I just know for myself that I sit back and I watch other people try to explain the things that have taken place in the world, and not relating it to the Lord Most High, but relating it to science of the world. Yes. And
you said science?
Yes, mostly science. I never experienced a particular time in my life where I thought that man had so much power or so much knowledge that they could cause things to come about. It's just like the weather. How serious we take the weatherman. He on point sometimes, but then all of a sudden when a storm come out of nowhere, do we get mad at the weatherman? No, we come into the realization that the weatherman only have that which Ahezaah gives them. That Ahezaah could cause it to be a sunny day and then cause the rain to fall out of the sky in a matter of a moment without any warning. So I know that Ahezaah has caused some people to go astray by causing them to be able to pinpoint certain things that's going on in creation.
Right.
And what happened is they become the knower.
They start thinking right.
But I guess as a child growing up under strange situations and what have you, I think that Ahezaah made its present more, made its present more aware to me as an individual, and I was able to see the miracles that people are still waiting to see. They're waiting to see the earth crack in between there, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
They're waiting for the big, fantastic, superhero to fly through the sky and scoop someone up. Where Ahezaah, as a mercy and a blessing for me, showed me its miracle as a small child throughout my whole life. And I've always questioned, how can man take claim of Ahezaah doing?
Yeah.
You know, you said something in terms of when they pinpoint, when they discover things, when the Lord Most High show them things, give them evidence, then they go astray.
Right.
I beg to differ. You know, I believe that most of the people who would seek to discover those things, to rationalize the Lord Most High, to rationalize the reality, to substantiate, to confirm it, I believe that they're already astray.
Okay.
You know, because those who are not astray, they're not out there trying to tear up the earth to see how they can master that, or to understand what people like Enoch understood.
Right.
You know, and create an atom bomb by splitting the atom and then use that for destruction, or send salt powder or whatever up into the clouds and make it rain.
Yeah.
You know, from what they've discovered by what the Lord Most High has given them to see of its signs, to see of its power. You see, it's these same people that are already straight, and then they take other people further straight by acting as though they have some mastery over these things, that they can control this, that, and the other. You feel me? Like they control weather as well as control, you know, other forms of nature and men's minds.
Oh yeah.
You know, they are the ones that's astray. But the thing about it is that when the Lord first brought me up into itself, and I realized that I was relating with the Lord itself, the eternal being, my mind went like a race car. And I lost control of it. Because all of a sudden I had this being, this thing that I've been looking for in my life that I knew could answer all my questions.
Right.
And I got so excited as I was asking those questions, I couldn't even wait for the answers. That I was asking another one.
Okay.
And I became like a babbling idiot. Just asking question after question after question after question after question before the Lord would fully answer the questions for me. You know? And I went so far as to ask the Lord, because, you know, one of the things I was doing was trying to find the best question. It was almost like I was looking at it, I tried to rationalize it, and I'm looking at this thing as though it's like the genie in the bottle. You know, you got 3 wishes. I'm like, I don't know how many questions I got. I had to get this right question. And I went running through my head. And when I got to the mastery question, the thing that everybody wanted to know, I asked it, how are you? How do you exist? How do you exist? Oh man, I was ready. And it put me in a void of life where there was no bottom, no top, no side, no voice, no wind, no nothing but my own mind. And there was no spirit. There was no spirit in the atmosphere. There was no atmosphere. There was no spirit. It was just my mind, and I felt as though there was nothing else in eternity but myself. And I went, poof. I screamed, forgive me, cried, because, man, that's some state. We as human beings, our natural inclination is to be with someone, to congregate.
Right.
And it put me in an absolute state of being alone. I thought I was being chastised. 8 years later, I happened to be sitting down with some people, trying to give some wisdom to help, and kind of in a meditative mood. And I happened to turn just to look up the street, and the Lord gave me the answer. It said alone. And I turned to the people who was having it was a shack, and he was having some conversations with people. And I turned to them and I said, alone. Allah exists alone. And they said, yeah, everybody know that. I said, no, you don't know that.
Right.
I know that. It took me 8 years for my mind to settle back down and to be able to be comfortable enough to accept that what I had experienced. It made me know how it is alone. Whoa, I don't ever want to get back in that state.
And the mistake.
You can't rationalize it because it's irrational. And why it's irrational and why man can't rationalize the Lord Most High is because where man's mind stops, the Lord is ever beyond. The glory of the Lord is ever beyond the man, the mind of man. And man is created to the limit of his mentality.
Right.
You only know the limitations of your own being. So when the Lord put me in that state, it cracked the level of my comfort zone, the ionosphere of my brain.
Right.
It took me into that hemisphere or whatever, into that space beyond where it was like a fish out of water. You see?
Yeah.
So I went in shock.
Okay.
And it took me 8 years to come to realization
I smile.
and understanding. And I said, I get it. Now I know why Allah says that it is the one to be worshipped alone. There is nothing other than it to be worshipped. And it is alone. It's independent and so forth and so on.
As you make us understand, it's just a statement of a matter of fact. Allah is the only thing that Lord Ahezaah is.
I'm telling you something. It's easy to say things. It's easy to quote things and rationalize your own understanding of those things, and then put your stake in the ground and put your war weapons up and tell that there anybody that come beyond because you know, but you don't know. Man thinks. That's what the Lord said to me. Man thinks. The Lord knows.
I think
I'm sorry, but I just Holy Queen Mother, she was talking about the weatherman and how the weatherman goes about and makes and other science and educators and the like make the people think that they're the all-knowing. But they said that they are looking at how, listen to how you said they stake their claim to what they imagine, what they rationalize, and because of the particular influences that they have over people or whatever they've been given, you know, they'll use that against the people to make it think that they are the ones.
Their own technology has pulled the cover off of them. See, way back in the day, it's comical to me because if you learn how to laugh at yourself in life and laugh at all things, man, that's when you come to an understanding about things. You know, when you realize, when you can rationalize truth, man, to the level of your mentality of where the Lord wants you to be. Right. And you see, like back in the day, they used to say, well, I predict and I'm going to bring you some good weather today. Yeah. And you know, you grow up thinking that they had a control of that thing. Like they know, you know? Yeah. But now the technology shows that they're only tracking the weather. They see what happened in the States before and they see what's coming, you know, and they've learned how to do it, kind of predict the days ahead of time. And be right. And the Lord kept making them be right so many times, but there was a situation like the Lord, Holy Queen Mother said, when the weatherman is wrong, people be angry with him, you know. But it's so much now that the Lord has come down and is showing its signs to let the people know that they don't know. They can't even track what they see. They see it and they can't predict it, you know. And it changed things. I remember some years ago when Gabriel came down, the Lord was giving all kinds of signs, you know. And when the book came down, I believe it was around the year when the book came open, right? When there was a bad storm coming out of Ohio, Pennsylvania. And we have been talking about the Lord being with us and showing his signs and what have you. And the major network news, they had weathermen spoke about the storm coming. Now this storm was hitting North Jersey and New York, coming out of Ohio and Pennsylvania. And it was a terrible storm. And they showed the storm. And they gathered around this vicinity, and the storm split as though there was a wedge around this vicinity. The storm split and tore up on both sides and went into New York, and they didn't mention a word about it. Yeah. They never said a word. How did that happen? Did you see what happened? The storm did not hit this vicinity. It went around us. You know,
Right.
and that was around the time when the agents was doing their number, put us on the blacklist, don't respond to them, you know, on the networks and what have you. You know, but that was a sign for them that this area is protected. You know?
Such a small thing that the Lord gave in the sign that it took the misconception from my trying to rationalize it, but people mistake information for knowledge.
Yes.
That was a great thing for me.
Yes.
Because you can read a lot of books and get information. People mistake that, now I know. Like you said, they conjecture. This is the weathermen, they probably conjecturing, you know, because I either fooling with that weather pattern. At the same time now, as the either show now in the signs of the global warming, the signs of the time the Lord manifesting now, the weather have been increasing in warmth instead of colder. Like it's supposed, like now we should usually have snow or colder weather, but now because of what I used to say in the 4 elements of the earth, the signs of the wrath are coming. Now the weather temperatures have been changing, the ice caps are melting. So these small subtle things the Lord manifesting, which is a calm before the storm, as I usually says, is going to be greater signs that the people were not going to predict anything at all in a minute.
And they're going to be locked in their scientific theories still.
Of course.
Well, you know, they're coming out of the scientific theories now. A lot of times, what they're doing now actually is they're beginning to agree with the religious people. They're beginning because they have to, because the signs are so evident. See, they got this technology, this internet, this media. It's so clear and so available that if they keep talking this stupidity, you know, playing games with the people, everybody's going to eventually look at them and say, hey, you know, you hear these guys, but they say, what about this, what about that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like the Lord said that it would destroy the people through the 4 elements of the earth.
Right.
Okay? But it also said that it's going to destroy man, not only by the insects and the animals and the microscopic, you know, creatures that's going to destroy, you know, retaliate against man, you know, vegetation included. So it's going to destroy man by his own hands.
Yeah.
Now, man is responsible for a lot of this global warming. You know, count the satellites that's up in beyond the ionosphere.
Oh, yeah.
That's, you know, how many holes have they put up there? They want to say that the responsibility is something burning, certain types of elements burning and going up and burning the ionosphere. I would beg to differ. That may add to it, but also all these sorties, all these spaceships going up in there crashing through the ionosphere. You know, if you crash through the ceiling of your house, how long do you expect it to last? And how many flights do they have that the public don't know about in all these major countries?
Oh yeah.
You know? You think about that.
It's like a garbage refuge up there.
Yeah, it is.
Like
And if they destroy
satellites up there.
you know, I remember I bought a car some years ago, man. When I was a child, I used to look at TV, you know, and see the little white boys on TV, and they had their sports cars, and I was like, man, that's the car to have. You know, the little car with the convertible top, you know, and you know, if you get one of those, you got money because you had to have another car or something. You know, this is your weekend sports car. And I got of age, and I bought me a T-roof top car. You know, I said, you know, I don't want to get no convertible because in the ghetto, man, they cut that top up if they don't like you, you know. So I got a T-roof. Got that T-roof, man, and took the glass off and went on out, and it was so hot that day. The sun was burning me up. I said, let me get on this highway because I was going to South Jersey. Get on this highway and get down here, you know, to Trenton where I was going. I started hitting that highway and I was speeding, and the sun was still burning. I was just getting burnt up, you hear me? No, the breeze wasn't helping, and I realized my foolishness. And then it hit me. Okay, you see the little Caucasian guys got the convertible tops. You see them on the beach laying down, you know, they trying to get sun to get darker. You don't need to get darker. You know, man, I got rid of that car.
Well, people with sports cars, it's a misconception. They get cooler.
Yeah, but it's not. But the thing what I'm trying to point out is they doing the ionosphere, which protects this earth. Same way I was doing with the T-roof. Take the T-roof off, like they do with the convertible. Take the convertible off. Now you got big spots, openings, where you get radiation coming right in to the earth.
Yeah.
Like you said, they don't want to take responsibility for it.
Oh, they're not going to take responsibility. No, they're going to
sign
keep
the
on.
treaties too. They won't even sign them. Some of the industrial countries won't even sign the treaties.
But look how foolish they are. The scientist has discovered that it is the trees that are the filters of our atmosphere. And they're going, these capitalist societies are going into the forests all around the world and getting the best wood to make their money, to capitalize on. And they're destroying the rainforest to build houses that they're not going to allow, that's not going to last that long.
They're going to oversell, overprice to the people.
Yeah, but this is for their livelihood. These are people that don't care about what's going to happen 100 years from now, except for their own people who they're trying to set up so that they can live. You understand? But they're destroying the rainforest, and that is destroying the filtering system of the earth. And they throw everything off. Now where it's usually warm is, it's getting cool, and where it's cool is getting warm, and the North Polar cap and the Southern Polar cap is melting, and the oceans are rising. So all these prophecies that the Lord has made, like New York going under, California falling down, that's real, and they know it, and they see that all across the East Coast, man. The shoreline we're losing the shoreline. Yeah. And they saying it quietly. Oh, you losing about 2 inches or so every year or so much, so often. And the people gonna have to move back, like Atlantic City. Before you know it, the water gonna be right up on the hotels if they don't do something. And they've been trying to build protectors to keep that water out. But nature is so powerful. The sea is one of the most powerful things on earth.
If they try to do that, then they should learn from the mistake that happened in travesty down in New Orleans, and when the levees broke. Yeah. Trying to build that wall around the city, and that water. The Lord brought down that rain, like it did at the time of Noah, and flooded that city as a sign.
No matter what man does, you cannot build a tower, a house, a town against the Lord's power. If you have one that's supposed to be, weatherproof, it's just that the Lord is allowing that thing to stand. Right. If the Lord want to take you out, it's going to take you out. Now, I remember clearly, distinctly throughout my life that tornadoes used to go up Tornado Alley, and they used to go on all these places where the people, I hate to say it because like we said, it ain't a white-black thing, but they would go and they would hit those towns where them Caucasians live. Oh, yeah. Maybe because they got 200 some odd million Caucasians and then there's only 30 million blacks. But they would tear them towns up and they would dance around, tornadoes dance around where the black folks live. You never see anything about black folks. This happened. But now the Lord said, you remember the Lord? I told you the Lord said it's angry with the black folks. That's right. And for not listening to what his message is, then what happens? Katrina. But how many people know that the Lord spoke this to us before it happened? And it then just destroyed all these black folks, man. Oh yeah. And it's gonna happen continuously.
Darker skinned people, in the Indian area with that tsunami.
Yeah, well, those was millions of Muslims. The Lord is angry with Muslims too because they've turned away from the true covenant of the Lord Most High that was given to Muhammad. But these are things that's actually happening, and one of the problems that we got going on is that people don't want to relate to the Lord Most High. They don't want to go inside themselves and seek the Lord from within inside themselves like they're instructed to do. They'd rather for a man to read to them. They'd rather for a man to stand up in a pulpit and speak to them instead of them following that information themselves. The man in the government to have them educated enough to read and write and understand, because those are very important things. So that they can learn what's been said,
They'd rather be lied to. They'd rather be
yes.
They'd rather be given a rationalization of reality.
Yes.
We can rationalize the tsunami. We can rationalize Katrina. We can defeat this. They can build a tower, Lord. So after they can create a tower that can defeat us.
They rationalize everything that happened with Moses.
Yeah,
that's what they've done recently. They've rationalized it. Well, there was a tsunami, and then the insects and the fish came up, and frogs, and this happened. The gases that turn the Red Sea red, or the Reed Sea red, or whatever. They can prove because it just happened recently in Africa, and so forth and so on. But the thing about it is, if the Lord tells me that it's going to destroy this town, and then it will come forth and an earthquake come about, and this whole town get taken down like Sodom. It's not that because it was going to happen anyway.
Right.
The Lord had plans for it to happen.
Right.
And then it sent this man out and say, well, you're going to get destroyed, you're going to get swallowed up by the earth, and so forth and so on. So don't make it like it's guesswork. Right. The Lord told you it was going to happen, then it brought it into happening. If the Lord wanted to, it could have sent all them hundreds of millions of Muslims away from that area.
That's right.
It could have caused something to happen to make them go away from that area and then brought that tsunami. Because it has brought many tsunamis where a large population of people weren't. Showing the people its might, its power, its terror. You see? But now it says that in this day and time it's coming down directly on man and it's going to bring that terror on him. And we also talked about it back in the 90s about Allaah, Ahezaah, Amen, turning the axis of the earth.
That's right.
And we didn't know exactly how it was going to do it, but it said it was going to turn the axis of the earth to coincide with what Prophet Muhammad had said about the moon being marked twain, 2 moons. Right. Now you get 2 sights of the moon, the same one moon up there, where we never had before.
That's right. So, the Lord Most High said that. And the thing that people now will not do, when for example, you mentioned the tsunami hitting Sumatra and other areas, then people begin to realize the Lord is real. But man, right behind them, the devil does what we were about to say, rationalize, well, no, it wasn't the Lord who did that. It was the earth. It was, that's when they right behind. Things like that nature. So soon the truth comes, then the false will come right behind it. Right. So when people turn to the truth, then they recognize that the Lord ain't really real. Back to it again, But the Lord is real, and this has been an I-Had moment.
No, I think we have another minute or two to go.
Excuse me, how much time do we have?
1 minute.
A minute?
1 minute.
Okay, let's go.
Well, we just want to say that we really have appreciated our audience tuning into our show.
Yes, we have.
Oh, yeah.
So we hope that we have brought some light to your life with this information that Ahezaah has given to us to pass on to you. And we have a live audience today, so you will hear noise.
We got the family here with us.
Yeah.
So, but it's
you hear the children on in the background.
May the Lord peace and other blessings be bestowed about your
right. To keep up with keeping your lives tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you